This video is totally unplanned and I was never actually going to create this video. I have literally 1,000, works to do today. Not 1,000, but I have a lot of work to do today. But I think this is the most important, unexpected thing that I'm going to do today. I was just in the gym 2 hours before. I just came from the gym and there's something happened with me, which I'm going to tell you in a bit. That clicked my mind. I need to create this video right now. I need to share my thoughts. So there's literally no script, no structure. I'm just going to share my thoughts as clearly as possible. I'm sorry if you cannot understand what I'm saying. I remember it was last year at this time only, January, and I was literally at the rock bottom of my life. I was fat. I'm still fat by the way, but yeah, I was fat. I was broke. My content was not working. My business was not working. Literally nothing was working. The only thing that I could do to solve those, or to divert my that negative energy, was in the gym. So I remember that I used to go to the gym in the mornings and I would plug in my headphones and I would blast the music full volume, and I'd do deadlift, bench press, and when I'll lift the weights, I would continuously kind of bitch talk myself. I was like, you are a fucking loser, mate. You don't have money, you don't have a nice body, you are lazy as fuck, you don't know what you do in life and where you are going. Nothing is working right now. But I think all those things kind of ended with don't give up. Even it when it seemed like the whole world is against me and I cannot make it, it just ended with don't give up. And at that time, it completely seemed delusional, because it was delusional. I literally had like $0 of my own on my bank account. I was living with my parents, and I'm still living with my parents, but I was totally dependent on my dad and mom for all of the stuff that I was doing. So I remember I used to spend my dad's money on that ManyChat subscription and all of the small stuff like domain and all of that stuff, and it was pretty embarrassing for me. But still, all of the things ended with one thought, and that was don't give up. And today, and this is not something that happened in a month or two, because I was in that phase for a very long time. Since the time when I was diagnosed with leukemia, I had to all of that stuff. My whole life changed after that. I started creating content, or I started to start my business around that time only. So it was the frustration of all almost 2 to 3 years. So yeah, that was all kind of snowball effect of the frustration, because all of that stuff, I would recall that how I took the risk of dropping out of my high school and going through this path, and I almost cried when I was convincing my parents to I was not going the traditional path, and I'm going to do something of my own. But yeah, every single time, I'm telling you again and again, this one thought just came into my mind: don't give up. I would say it was not only my mind. I got help from a lot of podcasts, Chris Williamson, Alex Hormozy, and there's this motivational, I would say, playlist on Spotify that combines all of the motivational speakers, and they tell you what to do. So every single day when I felt like today is the worst, I would go to the gym, lift heavy weights, and blast these motivational songs or motivational speeches or all. And yeah, that is how almost I went through it. I had nothing going for me at that time. As I've said before, also, the only thing that I could do to let my energy out, or let the negative energy out, was to go to the gym and just lift as heavy as possible. So yeah, that is how I kind of, with all the frustration and with all the anger, and I went through the whole year. And in December, everything started to change. And I don't know why, but I always used to get this kind of picture of this motivational quote that was like, a lot can happen in 1 month, believe in God. I never kind of trusted it. I was like, what the fuck, man? I'm doing this stuff for the last 11 months and nothing has happened, and what is going to happen in 1 month? I was like, just a ego boosting motivational. But I was wrong, because literally a lot can happen in 1 month. I remember my content started to kind of work again the way I wanted it to work in November. and I was just still going with the flow because I was kind of that locked in kid who is like, I literally didn't care about the results. I was like, oh, this post got a million views. I was like, yeah, well, that's cool, but let's just post another post. And I think that is also one thing that I would say is kind of the thing that I've made up with myself. I have kind of, I would say, 80% or 90% disconnected myself from the result. So it doesn't matter if my post is flopping or if my is working. I'm still going to post the next post in the similar, like with the same energy. It doesn't matter if it works or not. And yeah, I was like, it's working, but because I had seen all of the downs, and I was, that, you get the point. That frustrated, person, when he wins, he was like, yeah, it's just a win. He doesn't enjoy and all. So yeah, I was in that mode. I was like, it's working fine. That's good. That's a plus point. But after hitting a lot of million views and like literally turning my page upside down, I was like, let's earn money, because I've already done the things that people are looking to do. So that is how you monetize something, your skill. You have to you have to have some proof that the stuff that you talk about. So then I would say in December, for like the 1st of December, or like the starting week, I was brainstorming some product ideas that I was going to make, and I came up with a course about personal branding, and I decided to create that. But the thing was, when I was creating that course, or the presentation of that course, I was like, I don't know if any people are interested in, although my gut said that people will buy the course, but I was like, let's just test the product. Or even the reality was like, I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to spend that much energy and time on a thing that I don't know, like, if it's going to work or not, without testing it. So, and I was like, I'm literally lazy, too lazy to do that, because I had launched the video editing course in October. So I had spent a lot of energy, and I didn't want it to do, and it, by the way, flopped. So I didn't want it to do the same thing again. So I was like, just let's just create an ebook. So I launched that ebook, and I literally created the ebook in like a week. Signature Personal Branding Launchpad 2026. Yeah, I'm pretty bad at naming, but yeah, I launched that course, and I was still like, I have launched it. Let's just see what happens. No excitement, no nothing. I was like, let's just do that thing. And during that time, I also went to my first solo trip. I went to like the place where I was getting treated. So they still call me to see if everything is working fine in my body and all. So they just do some test, and then I can come back to my workplace and like come back to my normal life. So yeah, it's not a pretty big stuff. So I have recovered and all, but they are still it's just a normal checkup. So yeah, I went to that, and I literally I remember when I was in the plane, I would turn on the airplane mode, and when I landed, I would see like one or two sales of the Signature Personal Branding Launchpad ebook, and that made me like, oh, this might be working. Because the day I launched it, I kind of anticipated that 5 or 10, like I would get 5 or 10 sales right away, but it again got zero sales. So I was again like that mode, like frustration mode, like, all right, mate, there's no like nothing to do here. Let's just go to the trip and just enjoy the life, because that is all I could do at that time. But as days passed, I came back home. I would literally see one or two sales per day of the ebook, and then after a week or two, I saw that I first time I hit $1,000 through my business and through the content creation. And this is like, even when I'm saying this literally feels unreal, because as I've said, all the things that I went through, like I imagine myself to hit this goal, but you think of the things, but when it turns into reality, it's a whole different feeling. So I was like $1,000, and by the way, $1,000 in my country is literally like a lot. It literally puts you in the top 3%. After that, it kept going. I then hit $1,500 a month. And by the way, this is all happening in like those last 15 days of December. So it's literally not even the month. So the first week was like, I would say $700. The second week was around $1,600, and by the end of the month, I hit $2,000. And today I was in the gym and I was, working out, and I opened my email and saw that there were 5 sales of the same ebook. So literally I made around $250 in one day. And by the way, that's a lot for me, because as I've said, in India, that's a lot. And there was this, kind of emotional music going on. And I literally got pretty emotional by seeing those things and just feeling of those things, because I started to, kind of recall the moments of last year, or even before that, when my journey started and all of that stuff. And I was like, for that kid, this was a dream. This, earning through doing something that he loves, and that delusional goal is slowly becoming true. And that just made me kind of emotional. I'm still kind of emotional by talking to these things, because at that time it literally seemed impossible for like literally everyone. Only thing that was real was my vision. And as I've said, it like seems unreal when especially when you start your journey and you look at the mountain and you're like, man, I don't know if I really can get there. And I believe in manifestation, but you already know that even if you manifest your goals as much as you can, there's still some thoughts in your head that goes like, maybe I cannot do that. Maybe, this is not meant for me, or maybe I'm too weak for it, or all that negative thoughts have a place in your head. So yeah, and that is like what made me kind of emotional about, if I somehow go to the past time, or go to 1 or 2 years back, and I see that kid who is in the gym, frustrated with his business and all, and almost on the brink of giving up every single day, I would tell him to not worry about it too much, because the only thing that matters is the last thought. Don't give up. And this is why I'm creating this video. I know that many of you are in that stage, or going through that phase of the life where I was going through that phase of the life last year. You are that kid who is, in that mode and going through it. And every single day you wake up and you ask yourself, should I quit? Or every single night you cannot sleep, because your thoughts tell you that this might not work, mate. This might not be the thing for you, or let's just go back to the normal stage. But let me tell you, this is exactly what you are made for. This is exactly what you are made for. And this is exactly what you need to do. Because if you see the vision, there's a reason why God has given you this vision. There's a reason why you see the things that nobody else can see. There's a reason why you are so delusional. And you are not delusional actually, because you are seeing the goals that you are going to achieve in the future. For me, it was delusional last year or 2 years back, earning $1,000, $2,000 through my laptop and through my phone. But today it's a reality. So your delusional goals are not delusional. It's just in the future. So stop, trying to bitch talk yourself about you're not going to make it, or just stop fucking doubting yourself every single day. Because if you are not giving up, you are going to make it. Imagine there are two persons, all right? Both are doing the same thing. Both are, waking up at the same time. Both, let's just say they are in a like multi-parallel universe. So both are the same person. But the person one quits after 3 months, or quits after 6 months, or quits after a year or 2 years, 5 years. But the person two doesn't quit. He's like, this is the thing that I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it. There's nobody I care about. No one can stop me from achieving the things that I said I'm going to achieve. And the second person is going to make it, and the first person is going back to the things, normal stage. I'm telling you, this is so real, mate. I hope I could give you the feeling that I'm feeling right now, but that is the point. If I gave you the feeling that I'm feeling right now, you would, it will be kind of a spoiler to you. So yeah, just like, if you don't have any motivation, just for this feeling that I'm feeling right now, it's a fucking great feeling, mate. I cannot express how I'm feeling right now. Like, it's not that I've made in life, I'm ultra successful or any of that, but for a like 21 years old who is living in India, that much of money has just given me independence. I don't have to, depend on my parents for anything right now. I can buy the stuff that I want to buy. I can, do the thing that I want to do. I recently went a small trip with my friends. Not a small trip, but I went outside with my friends, with my childhood friends, after a very long time. I would say after Like we met after 10 years, and I was, literally talking with them this thing. Money is like doesn't give you happiness, but literally if you go from broke to something, it gives you independence. And that is why we are doing this stuff, for this feeling, for feeling independent, to make your past self proud, to not disappoint your past. Remember the past self of your 5 years back. He saw the vision in you, he bet on you. And if you quit, just have a picture of him or her. Like, what is he or she going to feel after you quit right now? Mate, I'm telling you, I'm requesting you, please don't quit. I know the journey is hard. I know the journey is long. I know the journey is painful, but it is supposed to be like this because it is testing you. God is testing you. It's literally a filtration process. If, everyone could have done it, then everyone could have, been successful right now. But that is not the case, because you have to sacrifice for it. You have to go through this phase, and it is well worth it, and it will transform you into something that you never imagined yourself to be. So yeah, mate, just keep going. And again, I'm not some, ultra rich or ultra successful man or a kid or a boy, but I know that I have to go a long way from here. It's just that I had this feeling. Even if I'm like the second step, I can guide someone who needs to take their first step. And that is why I started this journey. I don't claim to be an expert. I don't claim to be any guru or, anyone who is above you. I'm just maybe a step further than you. And I'm just trying to share the learnings that I learned through this journey. And we all have to go a long way. And like $1,000 is not my goal, but still, I just wanted to give you the feeling that you may get after getting 1% taste of your goals. So yeah, I hope it helps, and do not quit. Keep creating.